Late last March, in the sudden death final for the World Curling Championship in Duluth, Minnesota, Scotland's Bill Muirhead played his last stone of the 10th end. He was heavy, and the American rink of Bruce Roberts reacted jubilantly as they won their first ever World Curling Championship. Today, the Roberts rink is back to compete on the CBC Curling Classic.
From the St. James Civic Center at CBC Curling Classic, as the world's top curlers compete for over $35,000 in prize money.
On this game of CBC Curling Classic, we'll have a study in contrasts, an international match between the world champion Bruce Roberts of Hibbing, Minnesota, right-handed, and the left-handed champion of New Brunswick, champion of all the right-handers of New Brunswick as well, Dave Sullivan. He finished third in the Brier last year. So it's an international match, an East versus West match, and they're the two final teams of our CBC Curling Classic this year. $1,000 at stake today, just as there is in every game in that initial round. I'm Doug Maxwell. Don Chevrier and Don Duguid are here to bring you the action of today's game.
All right, Doug and Don, there's no question that Bruce Roberts impressed a great many Canadians certainly watching that World Curling Championship. He won it so easily, certainly the best rink in Duluth.
Well, he doesn't overwhelm you with strategy, but what he does overwhelm you with is a lot of good shot making, consistent team curling by all of them, and that's why they're world champions.
Dave Sullivan made quite a run at the Brier before finally fading out.
Well, he's an excellent curler. He gets himself a little overexcited by maybe throwing a little bit too much weight, and that caused him a little bit of trouble.
Let's see what kind of trouble they're in today. It should be a good matchup, Roberts and Sullivan. Sullivan has won the toss here in the first end. And with just his last rock to come, Roberts has that little biter, you see, over on the left-hand side. Sullivan is going to try to clean it off and hopefully blank this end.
Well, that's a pretty tough spot to hit a rock in, especially in the very first end, because you're not sure what the ice is going to do. And I would think Sullivan's really going to have to throw this rock, because it really takes off over in that area. And you'll see, he's missed this one by a great deal.
So Bruce Roberts gets a steal of one on the first end, as Sullivan played a questionable shot over there on strange ice, so Roberts leads 1-0. Those shots, Don, are tough at any time of the game, but certainly in the first end of play, I wouldn't think you'd try it.
Well, the first end, it's very tough because, tough drawing and tough hitting. When you got a rock against the boards, that makes it that much tougher.
Way out on the outside there where the ice is always so treacherous. The second end has been blanked by Sullivan, so his strategy is sound there, looking for more points in the third.
Exactly.
All right, let's go back to the action now in this match. Roberts and Sullivan. We are now into end number 3. And we have just the two rocks remaining at this stage. Sullivan has a rock well guarded back there. Bruce Roberts is going to try to use the in-turn to draw around the red rock on the center line and hide one and hopefully steal again.
Well, Bruce Roberts knows that he can't get to that shot rock, so he's going to do the next best thing, and that's try to get around those guards in the 4-foot area and hope that Sullivan misses. This is a big shot by Bruce. He's kind of guessing at the ice. He's kind of guessing at the weight. Here's real good sweeping in there. Are they going to get it by? Oh, he's got a good-looking shot. And that rock is going to be completely buried with perfect weight control by Bruce.
Just ideal. It's not deep enough for Sullivan to draw to. There's no way he'll ever hit it. Sullivan's got a tough task now going after that with his final rock of this, the third end. Remember, he blanked the second end for a chance to score at least 2 here. Now he's going to scramble for 1. He looks to be playing the raise on his own out in front to drive it onto the shot rock.
That's the only shot he has, unless he wants to draw for 1. He's going to try to play the raise, take out, and that way he'll get 2. But that rock is pulling far too much. He's just going to catch a corner of it.
And so for the second consecutive time with that blank end in between, when it comes down to last rock, well, old Sullivan is not there. Roberts steals another. Now he leads 2-0 after 3.
Well, some world championship curling form there, Bruce. You get the steal on it. Tell me, has success spoiled Bruce Roberts?
Oh, no. I have to try harder now, Doug.
Did you find that after the Silver Room was over, you were getting a lot more attention than you had before?
Oh, yes. People in northern Minnesota are really excited about curling right now. I think it was perhaps the greatest thing that could have happened up there.
And probably the greatest thing that happened to Bruce Roberts as well.
Oh, yeah. I could perhaps go to sleep forever tomorrow. My life's complete.
Yes, winning a world title taps it all off for everybody. And, of course, fans in Hibbing, Minnesota watch our curling series each Saturday, too. Hope you're watching. We'll be right back with more. Now heading more in that direction than Dave Sullivan with that 2-0 lead and a pair of stolen points in this game. Oddly enough, Sullivan early in the fourth end appeared to be getting back into it, developing something in the way of a potential scoring threat to Bruce Roberts. But a rock of Tom Rubeck's was burned. Let's ask Ray Turnbull about the ruling on a burned rock.
Umpire Ray Turnbull, it's not often that you see a burned rock in this kind of competition.
With this caliber of sweeper, there's not too many burnt rocks, Doug, but in this case, either Tom or Greg burnt the stone, and the rule reads, of course, that the stone must come off the ice, and they were very quick to take it off themselves. I don't think any member of Bruce's team may have even seen it, but that's what the rule reads, and curlers, they're gentlemen, and off it comes.
The rule also reads that the stone shall be removed by the team that burns the rock. It really doesn't matter whether the other side sees it, calls it, or anything else.
That's correct. By the offensive team. They're the people who take the stone right off.
With skip rocks being played in the fourth end, Sullivan is lying 1. Might well have been lying 2 had it not been for the burned rock. Bruce Roberts will play the wide open takeout attempt using the in-turn on that rock in the 8-foot ring.
Bruce's team has done just a tremendous job of keeping that front clear. He's 2 points up, and they've just done an excellent job of keeping everything clear. But it looks like Bruce Roberts has overthrown this one. I don't think he's going to get a piece of that.
No, whizzes right by. Jerry Scott, Gary Cleffman not touching it, and he just simply threw it out there, and it stayed wide. So a big chance for Dave Sullivan now, trailing 2-0 to draw another rock onto the rings, and if they trade shots from there on, he'd get 2 and get right back into this game.
Of course, Sullivan had a chance to draw for 2 with the exception of that burned rock. Now he's got it right back here by Bruce. Bruce missing that wide open takeout. Very seldom you'll see Bruce miss a wide open hit like that. But I think he just overthrew it. It looks like Dave's got good weight here. Oh, it's going to be well in there. He doesn't want to set up a double.
They get it back far enough, so it's pretty tough for Bruce Roberts. He will try to come back and correct on his first shot. Play the same takeout again.
There's a good chance here that Bruce could hit maybe half a rock and roll in behind the one that Dave Sullivan just threw, and that way he'd have some protection. But I'm sure in the back of his mind, Bruce remembers that first rock that he overthrew. You'll see he didn't throw this one near as hard. Now it's starting to move on him. Boy, they're going to have to work on this to get it.
He's on the other side and has enough to remove it, but he did take a lot of weight off with that one, Don, and you say he was thinking about being wide the first time.
Well, that's the problem with overthrowing your hits. Sometimes you have a tendency to take off too much weight and the rock will take off on you, as it did in that case.
Sullivan now has got a free draw for 2 and a tie.
Dave's really concentrating. He knows he has to get this one in here.
He never uses the broom for support. It's simply a decoration.
The interesting thing here for our viewers is that Dave Sullivan threw the first one with an in-turn. And now he's using exactly the same turn again to draw for the second one. And that's a point that you should look at. Always try to draw the same way you did with the first one.
Comes down to his own, moves it over, and it's quickly kicked off by Joe Roberts, conceding 2 points to Dave Sullivan from New Brunswick. So he's pulled even finally after 4 at 2-2 after a shaky start. Now in the 5th end, we're playing skip rocks again. Of the 4 rocks in the house, shot belongs to Bruce Roberts. And there it is at the head of the 4-foot in the 8th, and using his in-turn, because he's a left-hander, will be Dave Sullivan.
Dave would dearly love to hit this one and maybe roll in behind the guards. He's throwing big weight at it, as he normally does. He's got good-looking line. Is he going to hang around with this one? No, it's cutting too much. Is he going to hang around the corner?
Boy, it might just dig in over there. No, it does not. So he's off the rings and has that one of the back still. That is the contender.
That was a big shot for Dave Sullivan. He would love to have sat over there in that far left-hand corner and to be lying 3. This way here, Bruce Roberts has maybe got a chance to play the in-turn draw. Maybe just tap his up. If he doesn't get by, there's a chance that he could maybe split them in, both in, to lie 2. He's got a lot of weight here.
Not coming over very much, is it?
And they haven't laid a broom to it. He's got good line, though, if it stops.
Starts to dig in now and hangs on to be shot. And it's back under the cover of the stone at the front.
That was the bad part of Dave Sullivan not sticking with that first one. It allowed Bruce Roberts the opportunity to draw around or chip and roll that front one in. And now he's made it real difficult for himself because he can only see about a quarter of the rock. And Bruce got there with just draw weight, so he's got to play a similar type of weight.
Dave Sullivan's last rock. Roberts has the final stroke in this end, the fifth.
Oh, he's wide, Don. And he's a little bit strong. I don't think he's going to come close to that rock.
Long way from where he wanted to be. So Roberts now will get what Sullivan had in the last end. That is a chance to draw for a pair.
And it never ceases to amaze me how one shot can turn the end around. Sullivan had stuck with that first rock of his. He had complete control of the end. He hit and rolled out. Bruce would come back with a good shot, and now he's drawing for two.
That's right. No matter how well you might play the first 6 rocks or 5, it just takes one to change the end dramatically. And now Bruce Roberts is drawing for a pair.
Good sweeping here by the front end. Gary Kleffman and Jerry Scott just do an outstanding job of sweeping and judging rocks. Look at this. They never let up 1 inch all the way down.
There it is, into the 4-foot. That's 2 points for Bruce Roberts, so he now has reinstated his 2-point lead over Dave Sullivan at the halfway mark of this 10-end game at 4-2. And we're getting ready to start end number 6. It'll be Jerry Scott leading it off for the American and world champions. Jerry curling below the halfway mark right now, 45%. He's the low man on this American rink.
Well, he's been struggling with his draw weight a bit. He's had a lot of half shots, and that's hurt him percentage-wise. But normally, Jerry's a very, very strong lead.
See Joe Roberts, the third, coming out, younger brother of Skip Bruce, wearing that cap. He put that on for the semifinal game of the World Championship, which they won, and the final game, which they won, and he figures, well, let's just keep it right on going. That's his good luck charm.
Yeah, curlers are not unlike baseball players or football players. They're superstitious to a certain extent.
Certainly. Punch Imlach with a hat. Remember that in hockey?
Certainly do.
Nice quiet takeout there by the New Brunswick League, Greg Giltz. And he certainly has out-curled his opponent, Jerry Scott, so far. 72 to 45%.
And this is the type of game that Bruce Roberts just loves playing. He's 2 up. He just wants to exchange shots with his opponents throughout the whole end or the entire game. He feels that if he gets 2 points up, he's got such a strong hitting team that he can maintain that advantage. And this is why they're world champions.
Little roll to change the shot around for Sullivan across the center line into the middle of the house. Well, tomorrow's Grey Cup Day in Canada, and you'll see it right here on CBC television from C&E Stadium in Toronto.
Greg Giltz has got to make sure he wants to hang around with this one. This one is taking off on him. He might have underthrown it a bit. It's starting to move on him.
Well, the weight was fairly quiet. He's got a chance to hang on there, and no, did not. Close, but just off the rings. Let's go to bring up the American second now, Gary Kleffman. Gary at 77% is curling well so far in this game.
Boy, they jumped on this one right away. He's gone out a little further than what rocks have been played. It's a little stiffer out there. They're really going to have to work on this one to get it over.
Stopped in a hurry, didn't it? That's
sure
going to
did.
cost him percentage points as he hogs the shot.
That rock might have picked up something because Joe stopped at the hog line and kind of shrugged his shoulders. It looked like it had enough just to get over, but it just ground in right in the last 2 feet.
Whenever a rock stops that suddenly, it makes you suspicious. Tom Ruback at 65%, the second for the Sullivan team, now throwing.
Yes, come on.
Oh, and that rock's starting to dig in too. Of course, Dave Sullivan doesn't mind if it stops short, but he'd like to get it up a little tighter. That's going to be a useful rock to Dave. See, they're looking underneath it. That might have picked up something too. This is why it's so important for sweepers to be aware and keep the rock clean at all times, especially playing draws.
Maybe some straws on that side of the ice. Both rocks follow the same path down, and both did stop rather suddenly.
Well, sweepers should always keep it clean, even if it's a little bit heavy, because you never know what's going to slip underneath that rock and grind it to a halt.
Gary Cleffman, second stone of the end. He's playing the draw in behind that rock out there. Roberts wants to beat Sullivan into the house, and it comes up to the 12-foot. And is partially available, I'd say maybe half available in terms of the sight line to the Sullivan team.
That's an interesting call by Bruce Roberts. You think he might just draw to the open side and exchange shots with Sullivan throughout the end and force him maybe to take one. But he's going around a corner guard, and that's where Sullivan wants to play, because he maybe get 1 or 2 rocks in behind that guard and make things a little difficult for
This is a key shot right here, Don, for the Sullivan team.
Oh, yes, it is. He's got to hit the stick.
You see, he's heavy. He's going all the way through. Now Roberts, because he went in there, has got the advantage. He can draw the other side and make sure that Sullivan gets no more than one.
I'm really surprised at Sullivan playing the strong hit on that one. I thought maybe he would just maybe come up to it or try to draw around that one that's on the top of the 12 foot. But now the advantage is definitely swung in Bruce Roberts' favor.
Here's young Joe, 24-year-old younger brother of the skip. 57% for him. That's not one of his better performances as for the World Curling Championship form he showed us. See if he can get this one in here. They need to have 2 on the rings now to put the pressure on Sullivan. That's a little deeper than Bruce had wanted. Starts to dig in now and just does hang on at the back. Or if there's enough available, perhaps, if he hit it rather thinly, they might be able to roll back and double that one off. It's a long, thin one, but it might be there.
Well, that is a very sharp angle. This really surprises me that he's playing the takeout on this. He's 2 points down. He should maybe just try to play quiet tap back. Look at this rock take off. Now he's... Oh, it's starting to stay straight. Has he got a piece of it? He might get that thin double.
Ooh, he wasn't far away from it. Very slender, but it was there. So 2 consecutive clean misses. First by Rubeck, now by Flannery, have put Sullivan in jeopardy here. Bernie Sparks and his team, of course, will be in action later on coming up in our series against Jimmy Ursel. They'll be playing for a $2,000 top prize in the second round for them. Each winner of the first round games gets $1,000. It goes to $2,000 for the second game, $3,000, and so on down the line. The fella can make himself some money if he keeps on winning here.
Did we ever figure out if you went through undefeated how much it would be per rock?
You figure that out. Get back to me, will you?
I'll work on it.
Well, there is another one on the ring. So that decision to play a rather heavy weight on that first Robert Stone and the 2 misses that followed really cost Dave Sullivan now. Here is Mike Flannery with the oldest shoes in curling.
Boy, he's throwing this one pretty strong, and it's running fairly straight. Now it's starting to move on him. They left it too long. Look at it cut. Oh, he's missed that one by 2 feet.
This is turning out to be a nightmarish end for Sullivan. Everything is going wrong.
The only thing you can say is that Sullivan has last rock, and that might save him.
Our director, Larry Brown, said it works out to about $80 a rock. I'd like you to think about that and verify the actual per rock money in the series.
$80 a rock. You went through undefeated.
Right.
Ooh.
That includes the ones you throw through and the ones you hog.
You just figure out the length of the sheet. Oh, we could work this out. Here's good control weight by Bruce.
Comes up, bumps his own up, and now they are lying 4. There's Jimmy Ursel, Art Lobel with him, Bertie Sparks and his team getting ready for their upcoming game on the CBC Curling Classic. That should be a dandy game. Both had impressive wins, although both were pressed. Certainly Sparks pressed to beat Bill Muirhead. He had to go to an extra end to do it, but curled very well to get the victory.
And this is a big shot for Sullivan. He's got to make this double to keep him in the game. He's got good line.
He gets 1, and that's all, but he gets 3rd shot out of it, ahead of the number 1 Robert Stone.
Well, Dave would have liked an inside roll on that one rather than an outside roll. Now, I would think that Bruce Roberts is going to play the out turn maybe around that one on the right-hand side. That's exactly where he's going to go, Don. He wants to maybe change the shot for Sullivan. He'd like to get it in the 8-foot area, just about the tee line. He's got a lot of weight. He's got a lot of room. Now it's starting to cut over. He's got a good-looking shot here. Oh, they left it a little bit too long.
Ooh, he doesn't quite, I don't think, get it far enough up. They're going to examine those two rocks now, but it's only two, it appears, for Bruce Roberts. Yet there isn't much Sullivan can do in the way of getting more than one. I think he's going to have to be content with a draw to get a single point.
That's all he has left. He's got a cold draw. He has to be full 8 foot to count one.
I think he's satisfied if he does get the one that he can get out of the end with a point. After the way it was shaping up, he might have given up 3 or 4 to Bruce Roberts here.
Well, this is the advantage of having last rock. They've had about 4 complete misses this end, and here he's got a draw to cut him out of 2. He's got a lot of weight. Is it going to stop in time? Joe's ready to sweep it. Oh, it's just going to stop in time.
Just hung on there by a couple of inches. He'll have a look at it, but you'll have to concede the 1 point to Dave Sullivan there. He needs that point to get within 1 after 6 ends. We mentioned the oldest shoes in curling on Mike Flannery. Here's Doug Maxwell.
You know, we thought that Donnie Duguid had a bad-looking footwear when he was curling, but this certainly takes the cake. Is it, you know, are you attached to it for sentimental reasons, or is it a good luck charm, or what?
I feel comfortable in it, and I guess it is a lot sentimental.
Or are you just too cheap to buy another pair of boots?
No, I have another pair, but I've never used them.
Do you find that your foot gets awfully cold when you're out there?
Only if it's very cold on the ice. Very rarely, though.
Okay, well, let's see how the foot makes out through the remainder of this particular game, which stands at 4-3. We'll be right back after this message.
It still has that 1 point lead. As we mentioned, Dave Sullivan, I thought, was very, very lucky to get away with scoring a point after the previous end looked to be disastrous for him.
He was very fortunate, but this is Bruce Roberts' type of game. You know, he likes to get 1 and 2 up and just play the hitting game, and he feels he can win with 1 or 2 points up.
Let's see what happens now as they move along to the 7th end of this game. And we have just the 1 rock left to come. Bruce Roberts has the shot rock and has got a chance to draw down here and get a pair, which would reestablish a big lead for him at 3 points.
Bruce let this one go pretty strong. They're just going to, he's got backing at the back there, but he normally wouldn't like to use it. He'd just like to throw it right to the 4 foot and let the sweepers take it. He looks a little bit strong. Is it going to curl over enough to get 2? If he comes up against the face that one, he'll score 2, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yes, he used his own for backing and picks up 2 points. So after 7, it is 6-3 for Bruce Roberts. As we go along to the 8th end of competition, with again a rock to come, same situation. Roberts is lying 1. This time Sullivan will play the hit. And I wonder if he's thinking of blanking here, Don, to go on to the 9th end, still 3 points down with last rock.
Well, I think he'd like to hit and roll out, Don, and take his chances in the 9th end, maybe to get 2 and only be 1 down coming home. But of course, his first concern is to hit that rock. So many times trying to blank, a lot of curlers will miss it wide open. But he'd like to hit and roll out. And I think he's going to get this one right on the nose.
He's right there, so he claims the point whether he wanted to or not. Now, after 8 ends, just 2 to go, is down 6-4 to Bruce Roberts. Roberts in a commanding position now as we go to the 9th end. His final rock of the 9th end. Sullivan has shot rock there at the back. And Roberts, if he hits it just right, could get 2.
Well, he's just taking about a foot of ice, Don, and he's going to throw pretty good weight at this rock. He's not really concerned whether he hangs around. He'd like to get 2, but even if he gets 1, he's got pretty good control. But knowing Bruce Roberts, he's going for 2. And that rock is hanging out. He's just going to get a corner of it. Is he going to stay for 2?
Oh, he's going to roll away and out of play, and is left with just the 1. Had he scored 2, it might have put the game out of reach. They might have been shaking hands, but after 9, Roberts leads Sullivan 7-4.
Next week on CBC Curling Classic, a couple of veterans, not only of this series, but of the ice wars all across Canada. Jimmy Ursel, our defending champion. This is almost like the old $64,000 question. Jim, you've won 1,000. You're ready to go for 2 now.
Well, we sure are, Doug, and we're looking forward to playing Bernie next week. We've had some great games in the past, and we hope to have another great one next week.
I'm sure you would echo those sentiments, Bernie, but you'd like that $2,000.
Well, I'm sure we would, just as much as any other rink here. We're looking forward to playing Jim because they're a fine rink, and we hope we can keep up with them.
Would you be preferable to watching the games as you are today, or would you rather be out there playing?
I think we'd sooner be out there playing. It's nice to watch, but I think we'd sooner be out on the ice. It's hard watching.
That should be a great game coming up, Sparks and Ursel. You know, you talk about deliveries in curling, Don. It's a lot like a golf swing or the way a batter stands in the batting box in a baseball game. It's all very much an individual sort of thing, isn't it?
It's what you perfect. You know, you can perfect almost anything. Golfers have different swings. But in curling, it's not how hard you throw the rock. It's how fluid you are through every delivery. Trying to throw the rock the same way all the time.
And some, of course, have more fluid delivery than others do. Let's look now at some of the curlers in today's game.
Of course, Dave Sullivan, he doesn't use the broom for balance, but the big thing with Dave Sullivan is that he keeps his arm straight right throughout the delivery, at the address, the follow-through, and the release. You'll see here Dave's arm is very straight, and that once he's on that broom, he's ready to release it when he's sitting in the hack. Young Gary Cleffman, he sets up very well. He hasn't got a very big backswing, very small, but he gets down right in behind the rock, and because of the small backswing, he gets a little bent elbow, and he kind of pushes it out onto the broom. And the same thing with Joe Roberts. And I would think this is from practicing together for a few years, all of them. You'll see Joe Roberts, he kind of steps out behind the rock.
He gallops out, doesn't he?
He's not really set, but the same thing with Joe. He's got this bent elbow. And when he lets it go, you'll see he just gives it that little push at the end. He has to push it onto the broom.
I would think Joe learned from his older brother, Bruce.
I would think so. I think Bruce has a very strong influence on Joe and how he throws the rock and practicing together. Bruce Roberts has got a tremendous backswing, big drive out of the hack, and he comes out too fast, so he actually pulls the rock back a bit, but he also has the same elbow.
Would they be similar to your own delivery?
Well, everybody bends their elbow a certain extent. Your arm is straight, but not, rigid straight. It's flexible. I think they're just maybe a little overly bent.
Well, let's see if that lead can be bent now, the one that Bruce Roberts has piled up as we go to the 10th end of this game. As I said before, he might have put it away, and he scored 2 on the previous 9th end, but as it is, he has got a 3-point lead coming home with last rock belonging to Dave Sullivan. To start off the 10th end, here is the U.S. lead, Jerry Scott. And he's being asked, plain and simple, to throw it through. And that's how the skips see it, coming down toward them. Of course, they always, even though they throw it through, have a look at the ice to see what it's doing and examine it on every shot.
Exactly right, Don. It may come down to the last 2 rocks, and they may have a hit over in that area, and they never waste a shot. They want to find out how that ice is running in that area, so they'll get their lead man when he has a free shot like that to throw it through.
Greg Gilks at 75% now, leading off for the Dave Sullivan team.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Of course, Greg Gilks' job is not to go through the house. Even if he stops short, it could be a useful rock to him. That's exactly where he's going to put it.
Sullivan with those Gagnon Cup crests on his curling sweater. That means he's been New Brunswick's champion 5 times, and that's unlike other provinces where the Purple Heart is awarded as they go on to the Canadian Curling Championship.
Jerry Scott's been struggling this game, Don. He's curled about 57%, and he's a better curler than that. I think he's just fighting maybe his draws just a little bit.
This American team beat Bud Somerville, well known to Canadian curling fans from our Curling Classic and the World Championship, to win the U.S. title. And of course, went on to defeat Bill Muirhead for the World Curling Championship in Duluth, Minnesota last March.
Well, anytime you beat Bud Somerville coming out of the United States, you know that they are excellent curlers. Of course, Gilks in this rock has got to be in front of the house, or maybe just in the 12 foot. I would think.
Yes.
Maybe even if he stops short over on the side, it's a good shot.
Yes, Sullivan's team needs rocks in play in front of the house or on the rings, and hope for a miss, hope for a break, and try to build something up. It's not impossible to come back when you're 3 down, but it's awfully tough if your opponent is curling well, and the Roberts rink so far has shown no indication that they're about to fall apart.
Well, against a good team, there is a chance that you could get 2, but, to get 3 against a team like Bruce Roberts is really difficult. You got to make all your shots and get a couple of breaks.
There's that delivery we looked at a minute ago of Gary Cleffman, the United States second.
This might be the first big break for Sullivan.
There's 1. He'll need more than that, though, if he's going to get 3, but at least Cleffman gave him something there. Tom Rubeck, Sullivan's second, is in the hack now. He's made 2/3 of his shots today.
course, Rubeck's key here also is if he can't get it in the rings, at least to stop short. They'd like to get it in, and then just one more miss, and they got a potential tie. Oh, they're going to have to go on this one.
Getting very sticky there, but that sweeping as they pound it down makes it reach the 12-foot. So he's lying two and now needs another break from the Roberts team. Another miss, as per the one that Clefman threw.
There is a chance here for a double if he hits about a half a rock. But I'm sure Bruce is not concerned so much with a double, just making contact with that one and hopefully rolling over in that area to set up a double with the next shot.
1, 3, 4.
Now, he didn't miss twice. He's got that one, but stays off the rings out in front. Now, there's a rock that Sullivan could use.
Exactly right. That one would like to have rolled out of play or over to that other one on the left-hand side. Sullivan knows that that's a mistake, and he's going to go in behind.
This is Rubeck for his second stone of the 10th end.
You'd like to get this one in behind, Don, but deep behind the tee line, so maybe they can get another one in behind and a potential tying point. He's got a lot of room. Now it's starting to dig in. They got to go with it. They left it too long.
Just about. They just got it in behind, and it's under full cover now.
That is a perfect rock by Rubeck.
And
Fully
he
in
took
behind
the front one down and been out in the open. It would have been almost a wasted shot. But now he's got one sewn up. He's forcing Joe Roberts to play on the open shot.
Well, the interesting thing here now, if Joe hits this one and they put one behind the tee line and hit it, then Sullivan can freeze to it, and it could be a three-ender coming up. Here's a good roll by Roberts, though.
Yeah, he wants to be over in the area of the other stone. They could play on that side of the house.
Be interesting to see what Sullivan's going to do here. He's going to hit this one. You know, maybe it wouldn't be a bad shot just to come up to it and tap it back a foot, hoping that Roberts drives it on his own. And that way he would get three. This is an interesting call.
Mike Flannery with that floppy sole on the curling shoe. Coming out now with
Oh, he's got to hang around with this one.
pretty good weight. Not touching it.
Oh, he's got to hang around with
Joe
this one.
Roberts moves out to try to sweep it out. He's got to dig in a hurry for him. Roberts pounding away to get it out. He does.
That would have been a perfect shot if it had hung around.
Joe's curling 65% and certainly sweeping 100%.
Now the shot that Bruce is playing here, he's trying to raise his own onto the back one. And not only that, he tried to get rid of that front one. If he can't make the raise takeout, he just wants to get rid of that front one. They haven't touched it. He's a long way out there. Now it's starting to move over.
Not quite, just missed it. And he rolls the other one onto the rings for shot. So at least now for Roberts, it's open. If Sullivan needed two, I'd say he'd be in excellent shape right now. They could trade shots, he'd get two. But he needs three just to tie the game. He's got last rock, remember, here in the 10th end.
And this surprises me. You know, he's three down. He's still playing the hitting game. You know, you have to be really accurate to hit and stick. Like the last one, they hit and rolled out. You know, if that one had a stock, they would have been in good shape. They're really taking a lot of chances here. This one's starting to move. Is he going to hang around with it?
Yeah, it rolls over toward the other one near the center line. Of course, they like to play the hard-hitting game, and I suppose if that's their style, they would find it difficult adjusting and changing now in this situation. But they're banging away at them.
That's the disadvantage of playing the takeout game throughout the whole game, is when it comes time to make the fine shots, you're not sure of the weight or the ice that you're going to play. You have to be versatile enough to switch your game from takeout to draw.
Yep.
Bruce Roberts has hummed this one. Is he going to get a corner of it? Oh, he's got a good piece.
Yeah, it came over well for him and rolls to the outside of his second shot, just hanging on there in the 12-foot ring. Bruce has curled well at 74%. As a matter of fact, he has out-curled his opponent, Dave Sullivan. Sullivan has been struggling just a bit at 51% in this game so far.
Yes, you got to curl better than 51% to beat a team with Bruce Roberts' caliber. They got to get this one in here. Boy, they're really working on it. Has he got enough? Flannery encouraging him to get it in. He's got good weight.
Oh, it's well back. And he's lying 2 once again, but he needs 3. And has just 1 rock to go after this one by Bruce Roberts. If Bruce kills one of these, it'll be all over.
Well, Bruce knows how the ice runs in that area. He just wants to make sure that he keeps his weight up. He doesn't underthrow it so it takes off on him. He's got to keep his weight up.
1, 3.
Oh, they jumped on it right away. He's yelling, hurry.
He's pretty quiet with this one, Don.
Oh, he is. He's out in the tough ice, and that rock is starting to cut on him.
Coming way over. He's on the wrong side. He does not get enough. He promotes the shot into the 4-foot. But what he has done, he's given Sullivan virtually a draw, a free draw. Anywhere in any rock that beats the one on the 12-foot is going to be the 3rd counter and tie this game up. Just 1 shot changes the entire situation.
This is amazing, the way Sullivan's played this hole, and straight takeout. The only draw they threw was the lead's first 2 rock and his first one. And now here he is having a free draw to tie the game.
It's a free draw, but it's a pressure draw. He's playing it down center, the keenest part of the ice. Now he jumps out ahead. He's going to help sweep his own stone down there. Across the hard line now. Looking good. They begin to ease up a little bit on it. Few final licks, and he's there. Right back to the other stone for the 3 he needed. So Sullivan is still alive. He pulls off the 3 for the tie in the 10th end and brings about an extra end against Bruce Roberts. After 10, they are tied at 7. Let's go down once again and join Doug Maxwell.
Gosh, talk about the perils of Pauline, Dave. You just wait until that last stone to put us into the extra end. You're a very deliberate curler when you come down into the hack, but in a position such as that last stone, isn't there a tendency sometimes to maybe want to get in there and throw the rock?
No, not with me anyway. I like to just sit back and try to relax a bit and then get in the hack and throw it.
Do you find that the routine that you go through, stepping back with your foot, making sure that that glove is around the broom, helps you to do that?
Well, I guess it's just a procedure I go through. I don't know why I do it, but I just want to take my time until I get cool enough to throw the rock. I knew it was a crucial rock, and I had to make it.
Well, you certainly made it. We're now into an extra end of play. We'll see how it goes in just a moment.
When you look back at the 3 that Dave Sullivan got to tie the game, had Bruce Roberts made his last shot on the 9th end, Dave might have taken off the glove and called it quits right there.
Well, that's right, and I'm sure Bruce is more than annoyed at himself even for missing his last rock in the 10th end.
He made the 9th end shot that kept things going in the 10th. Dave got his 3, and let's see now what he can do without last rock. That belongs to Bruce Roberts here in the 11th and extra end of play. They're playing for $1,000, which will go to the winner. Of course, the All-Star Award to the outstanding player of this game is on the line as well. What happens here in the extra end might have a big bearing on who wins that award. Here's Gilk starting it off for the Brunswick team.
Yeah.
And he's not going to go out in front necessarily with that kind of weight. I think he's going to be a little deeper.
Well, Don, I think maybe the momentum is swinging to Sullivan. Anytime that you get 3 in the last end to tie up a game, you've got momentum going. The other fellas may be playing a little too defensively. And that's why I would think that Sullivan has the advantage maybe in this end. Because Bruce Roberts is going to play defensive the whole game, this whole end, while Sullivan is going to play offensively.
Going ahead of him, he can set it up the way he wants it. Make Bruce come to him.
He's just playing for 1 rock, and that's his last rock to get it in somewhere in the 4-foot behind cover.
There's one that's stuck. It rolls over a little bit. Ideally, had that first stone been short of the house and it stuck around like that, then they'd have a rock out in front. But it could still be used by Sullivan, who's going to have Gilks play short again, using the out turn. He'd like him to wind up around the center line area, I would think.
Well, if it comes down to the last rock of Sullivan's, and that rock is still sitting there, that's a little bit of protection for him. Makes it a little bit tougher for Bruce Roberts. So he's going to throw another one up front and try to get Roberts to hit that rock throughout the whole end. Boy, and they got to go on this one to get it over.
Just over. He had to on that occasion, but I don't know many skips who love to sweep as much as Dave Sullivan does. He'll chase his own rocks and sweep them, jump out from the tee and sweep rocks coming in.
The amazing thing is that he lets it go, and before it hits the first hog line, he's up and sweeping it.
Must be a frustrated lead. Just can't quit sweeping.
Well, here's a good-looking shot by Scott. If he hits it on the outside, there's a good chance he could get the double here.
That's exactly what happened. Got the other one, rolled out himself. He left the one out in front, though. That could be useful to Sullivan as the end progresses.
Well, that's the bad part about that shot, is that he left that rock on the center line, and that's where Sullivan wants to play. He's going to go right in right away.
This is his second, Tom Rubeck.
If Rubeck gets this one in the 4-foot area behind that guard, Bruce Roberts is in a lot of trouble. Oh, I think he's going to be short. He's pulled the string. He's out a little wider ice, a little bit heavier, and he's pulled the string on it.
No, he's going to be all right. He just got over the hog line. That would be a shame to hog one of the 10th or the 11th end, but we've seen it happen before.
Oh, if that rock was, maybe another 6-9 feet, the curl that it was taking, it would have been dead behind that guard.
Well, the way they're lined up here, Gary Cleffin's got a shot at cleaning both of these up.
Well, if he hits it on the outside, the beautiful part of it, he'll make the double and his shooter will roll off too. And he's got a good-looking shot here, Don. He's going to do that.
Yes, the shooter's way over. It's no longer important. It's too far over on the side, and he's cleaned out the front. That's a big shot right there by Gary Cleffin.
Well, we might reflect back on that shot at the end of the game, and that could be the shot that wins this game for Roberts.
Sullivan now has got to go back to work with Rubeck to replace the rocks that were just taken off by Gary Cleffin.
Hurry, hurry, hurry.
He wants to get it in a little deeper. Halfway between the house and the hog would be a perfect spot. That rock is really cutting, though.
Coming in a little bit deeper than they might have liked, but it does stay out in front of the rings, and Roberts goes right after it to get it out. Well, we'll know our CFL champion for 1976 tomorrow when the Grey Cup game is played, and you'll see it all, the complete coverage right here on CBC television.
Of course, Gary Cleffin with this particular shot would just love to roll off again. He doesn't want his shooter hanging anywhere in the area of the front of the house. He wants to remove that and roll his shooter off.
Coming over now, they may wait and see if it goes to the other side of the rock. It does, and rolls out of harm's way to the left. So two fine shots there by Gary Cleffin, getting exacting rolls and getting his team out of trouble.
Well, he gets full marks for those two shots.
This will bring out Mike Flannery, third man for Sullivan.
And Sullivan will throw up 7 guards, hoping somewhere along the line that the Roberts team will hit one on the nose so he can hide behind it. And he'll go as far as to throw his first rock up in front of the house, hoping that Bruce hits it on the nose so he can draw around it. Look at these rocks start to cut, Don. They're really moving.
That was pretty light, too, and it cut all the more. Just gets over the hog line down there, but it's well off the center line, well off to the left. Even so, it could be used for something by Sullivan, so Roberts certainly won't leave it there.
I don't think Flannery's very pleased with where that rock ended up. He had perfect weight, but he's about 2 feet from where he should be. Should be more onto that center line.
Joe Roberts now. He's well on the outside of this rock. And he's got it. Just nicks it over there. Came up and bumped his own, but it hit the boards. They replace it. That's not an important stone anyway over on the left.
And once again, Sullivan will be asking Flannery to put it out in front. You can see the ice he's taken. He's taken right on the edge of the 8-foot. So for him to get over in that center line, it's going to have to do a lot of curling. The danger of going out a little wider is the fact the rock may stay straighter out there. Might not curl.
Well, he's concerned about his last rock, which curled too far, and he's allowed more. Let's see how it does react.
I think he can give that one a little more weight, too, because it's a little tougher out there. It's starting to curl in the general area where he wants it. But he's got to get it in a little deeper.
They worked hard on that rock, and they got it right on the center line. Couldn't be better for Sullivan.
You know, the danger here of running off these guards is you always have a tendency maybe to throw them a little bit harder. The skips brooms you for a certain amount of weight, and because it's a front rock, you throw it a little bit harder, and invariably sometimes you hit them on the nose. And I'm sure this runs through everybody's mind. Oh, look at this rock start to curl.
Oh, he was well outside it. Now Bruce turns away in disgust because he thought he had the outside of the rock perfectly, but it came right onto the nose, and there it is. That's the first key mistake for the Roberts rink.
It only takes one mistake. In this particular case, that's a dangerous rock because it's right on the center line, covering that 4-foot area where Sullivan wants to steal a point. You know, he shouldn't steal a point in the 12-foot area or the 8-foot. You have to steal points in the 4-foot area.
Is he going right in now with this his first rock?
I would think he'd go right into the 4-foot if he can, on top of the tee line, directly behind that guard. He doesn't want to slip behind the tee line. That way Roberts can follow him down and tap him out. Well, he's got a lot of weight. Oh, it's got to dig in.
Now it starts to come over a bit. If it'll slow down for him, it's going to be fine. A little bit too deep, but it's well behind. He does allow Roberts the chance to come down to it. It may be slightly exposed on the in-turn side. It is.
Don, if that rock was 2 feet in front of the tee line rather than 2 feet behind it, Bruce Roberts has got a very difficult shot. But because it slipped behind the tee line, Bruce Roberts can play the in-turn and pass that rock through. But he's got to be ever so exacting with his weight. Oh, he's a long way out there. That rock has got to curl. It'll snap across at the end. They got to be very careful.
Just playing draw.
Now it's starting to move.
There.
See if Joe yelling, come on.
Now. Let's watch it on the other side as it rolls off that rock. It could be open on the outturn side. He moved it back enough. He's got shot. But as you can see, it's available to Dave Sullivan from the outturn. His in-turn.
Don, Dave Sullivan is looking at this outturn takeout, discussing with his team, but I would think the shot that he should play is the same rod that Bruce Roberts just threw, only try to stop it in this area here, you know, about a foot in front of the tee line. Ignore that rock altogether because it's behind the tee line. If he can stop this rock in front of the tee line, he's got a good chance to win this game.
I have a bit more last time? Do I have a little more?
Well, he's afraid to perhaps go to the other turn. He played this turn on his first shot, drawing in there, and he wants to go back with it again.
Well, the only bad part about it, if he hits it on the nose or he hits it on the inside, he's still going to be behind the tee line. And Roberts will just follow him down with the in-turn draw that he just played on his first draw. But if he draws it with the in-turn and stops it in front of the tee line, then Roberts has got a full draw to the 4-foot. He's got good-looking line. It's a long way out there, though. It's got a long way to come. And he's got about back 12-foot weight. Is it going to come enough to get a piece of it?
Certainly heavier than he wanted to be covered there. He's going to bump it, and he just rolled it off the other one. He now is lying 2, actually, but not in a good position. Roberts still has that first shot of his to come back to with draw weight to claim the winning point. Sullivan more concerned with being defensive than he was offensive with that last shot.
Well, you know, you play the hole in to get 1 point, to get a rock out in front and get it in front of the tee line. Then all of a sudden the chance comes up and he plays a takeout, trying to hit and roll behind the tee line, which is, I think, a bad call. Look at the rocks at the back of that tee line. Bruce Roberts can play back 12-foot weight and still win the game.
He's got all kinds of backing there. He just has to hit the broom. They've got to keep it clean, and it should follow the same path that his first rock did.
And he knows it's going to curl like crazy right at the very end, so he can throw it well out there and hope the sweepers can, when it's starting to curl, sweep it into the 4-foot. He's got a good-looking shot here. He's not going to use that back. He's going to stop in the 4-foot.
Well, that's the mark of a good curler, drawing cold without the backing. There it is, the 1 point that wins it for Bruce Roberts. In extra end, he had to struggle a bit to defeat this Dave Sullivan rink, but he finally comes up with an 8-7 victory and $1,000 in prize money. And of course, we select an all-star in each of these games, and the all-star we have chosen is Gary Cleffman, a high percentage, but basically the 2 key shots in cleaning off front rocks at that extra end were what won the $100 for Gary. Well played game by the U.S. team.
Well, just a super game. You know, they're excellent curlers, and they're going to take some beating.
They sure will, and they go on to the next round now, worth $2,000 for them. Sullivan still has 1 life. We'll have closing remarks from Doug Maxwell, but first let's pause for just a moment.
Closely matched these teams are. That's a tough game today, Bruce. You had a great game going and then sort of let down a little bit in the 10th end. You had to come back and make that great shot, 2 great shots on the 11th.
Well, I thought I'd practice my draw weight in the 10th end, Doug, so I'd have it in the 11th.
Sure you did. Well, you wind up with the $1,000 for the 4 players, if you'd like to pass that along. And in addition, the $100 that goes out to the outstanding player of the game goes to Gary Cleffman. Very steady work all the way through, Gary. You can take that back home to Hibbing, Minnesota. Congratulations on a tremendous game, and we'll look forward to your semifinal match on the A side. Next week, more of the same. Doug Maxwell for Don Chevrier and Don Duguid. So long.
I'm Peter Zosky. Starting Monday, November 29th, we'll be bringing you 90 minutes live every weeknight on CBC television.
This is CBC,